KFI.
When troubled times begin to bother me,
That's great.
I take a toast and all my cares go up in smoke.
That's great, man. Tommy Chong with us from Cheech and Chong. And what a life you've had. Only 77. You got a lot more to live. But
Yeah.
you've had some really great times and great moments. I don't know if you remember all of them. But
I do.
Do you? You discovered Michael Jackson.
That's right.
The singer, not the talk show host on, the old talk show, English talk show host on KBC.
The Jackson 5.
The Jackson
They
5.
were the Jackson 5 plus Johnny.
Right.
When we met him.
And how did you, were you living in Detroit? Or
Yeah.
Michigan?
Yeah, we got discovered by Berry Gordy. We were in Vancouver first, and I had a band and a club. I owned a club in, a family-owned nightclub in Vancouver, Canada.
Were you Canadian growing up?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so we got discovered by Berry Gordy. Came to Motown. I wrote a hit song called "Does Your Mama Know About Me?"
Right.
We're touring behind that song, and we're at the Regal Theater in Chicago, and we were double billed with Jerry Butler, and the opening act was this little group from where is it?
Flint or where
No,
from?
Indiana.
Indiana. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, northern Indiana.
Little ghetto, Gary.
Gary, Indiana.
From Gary, Indiana, called the Jackson 5 plus Johnny.
Wow.
And
So they opened for you.
they opened for us, yeah.
Holy smoke.
And they were so good
Yeah.
that Bobby Taylor, he convinced him to come to Detroit with us, and they stayed at Bobby's apartment.
Wow.
And my first wife was staying there at the same time with my two daughters, Radon Chong,
Right.
the actress, and Robbie. And so
Wait, Radon Chong is your daughter?
that's right.
I didn't know that.
That's right. And first wife.
Right.
And Maxine, and they were all staying there, and the Jackson 5 stayed there while they waited for Berry Gordy to audition them.
Right, but you had a very, great wife to say, hey, we're bringing 5 kids to live with us, and another act.
Well, Bobby. It was Bobby's.
Oh, it was Bobby's apartment.
It was a Bobby's
Oh,
apartment.
I see. Right.
Bobby was. He's a legend. He was crazy. Back in those days, you could own wild animals. Bobby owned a lion, a male lion.
They kept it in the apartment?
Kept it at the apartment.
Wow.
And it was
What a night, though, with the Jackson 5, the Lion.
Jackson 5. The lion was the lion there then? No,
That's crazy.
no, I don't think the lion was.
How long
there.
were you in Detroit then?
Almost a year.
Oh, okay.
Almost a year.
And then you came out to L.A.?
Well, what happened? I got fired from Motown.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. it was
Why'd they
funny.
fire you?
It was funny. Bobby had left the group, and he wrote Smokey wrote a song for him called Melinda, and so Bobby quit. Well, actually, when we discovered the Jackson 5, Bobby got the honor of producing their first album, and so Bobby produced the album, and then he got tied up with the Jackson 5. I ended up with the group playing behind a singer called Chris Clark, and we had a gig. And in the meantime, I had been deported from Detroit because I was down there without a work visa.
Right. They send you over there across the river.
Yeah, so they sent me to Windsor,
Right.
and so I had Motown getting a green card for me, and the bass player Wes, and so I had this gig with Chris Clark, and I told her I had to leave the gig to go to this meeting, for my green card, and she didn't know what a green card was, and she told me that if you leave the gig, you're fired.
Wow.
Well, I had to leave the gig because
Right.
it's the
Couldn't get
a
back
green
in.
card.
Right, exactly.
And so, sure enough, I come back to the gig,
You're no longer.
and I
Wow.
was fired. And so
And then.
then I thought about it, and there's more story to it, but the bottom line is that
What year is this in Detroit?
1967.
Oh, man, that's when it's really happening.
It was still smoldering
Wow.
from the riots.
Yeah.
It was still burning.
That's when everybody moved out.
And so I went to a movie called after I got fired. I had my other family, my present wife. She happened to be with me.
But when did you meet Cheech?
Cheech, that was 67, 68. I met Cheech 69.
Out here?
No. I went back to Vancouver to work the club after I got fired from Motown.
Right.
And Barry wanted to hire me.
You probably thought that was it then for you.
Well,
after getting fired.
No, not at all. Barry wanted to hire me back, and I said no. I want to become a Barry Gordy.
Right.
And so then I went back I went to L.A. to write songs.
Oh, that's
and
great.
then while I was in L.A., my brother who was running the club said, we have some problems. And so I moved up to Vancouver, and I changed we had a strip club. And so I changed the strip club from being a strip club into an improvisational theater.
Oh, that's great.
And so
for guys who like improv and hate nude women.
Well, no, we kept the women.
Oh,
we kept the women. They were part of the improvisational theater.
Let's get because the best improv actors in the world are strippers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they were the funniest.
Yeah, they are.
So
They're
I had a partner, and we had I had long hair at the time, and my partner had long hair. Dave had long hair, and then Rick, he had short hair. He played all the cop parts. Right. And so Rick's wife found out what he was doing because we got a lot of press and with the strippers and that. So she made him quit. And I was looking for a straight man. And then this mutual friend of ours.
He played the police officer.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this mutual friend of ours, Ihor Torbeck was his name. He owned a little hippie newspaper. Anyway, he put me in touch with this little Mexican guy. In fact, we didn't know he was Mexican. This little foreign-looking guy.
Right, and it's Cheech.
And that's Cheech.
Wow.
And his name wasn't Cheech at the time. His name was Richard Marin.
Right, and was that his natural accent, or was that an act?
That was an act.
Oh, it was.
In fact, we didn't know he had that in him until we came down to L.A. Because we would do a lot of TNA jokes up in Canada. But when we got down to L.A.
Makes sense. You're at a strip bar, improv.
When we come down to L.A., now we got all this Chicano material that no one was doing. And so then Cheech told, we were
That's
playing,
right.
We were playing this little club, and we didn't go over. It was a dance club. They had to stop dancing. We went on. We did our first show. It was lukewarm. And so then we had an intermission. We had to do another show. And so I told Cheech, I said, we got to come up with something that these people relate to. And he said, well, there is a character I can do, but I don't know. It's a little...
And that's the first time you did it on stage?
It's the first time.
Wow, is that
right?
right?
I wrote him a bit about the car bit that I remembered from working with all these other great comedians. And so we did this little car bit where he washes an imaginary car.
Right.
And then he picks me up hitchhiking. And then we did the bit.
And that scene then became, what was the first scene? Wasn't that the first scene or the first part of the movie?
Yeah.
Of Up in Smoke. Wow. All right, let's go. We got to take a break. Can you stay with us?
Yeah.
All right.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay, yeah, I knew you're fighting cancer. You're on chemotherapy. Yeah. You were in a hospital gown 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
And now you're here. That's unbelievable.
That's right.
You must have the best PR guy in the world then. Or the worst PR guy in the world. Make you get out of a hospital gown to go do AM radio. Yeah, it's James Weir with Anderson Group PR, and they've got the entire office on the chase alert, right? How many guys in the office? How many people in the office?
23.
23 people, all with that chase alert.
I was listening, by the way, when Wally called in 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah, right.
When Wally in from Up in Smoke.
Right.
Called up and was like, "Hey, I know Tommy."
Isn't that classic? That is great. All right, the whole world's coming together. Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. We'll talk about the movies. He's got another thing coming up. And still, such a great guy. We'll talk about him going to prison as well. That's an unbelievable story. Sim Conway Jr. We're live on KFI AM 640. Morning News Now there in Pender.
Paper show a probable motive in the murder of a family from
How many people are we up to?
Over